Hey guys, welcome to Mintac. This is Chris. Today I'm going to be doing a tabletop review and installation of the MFT, which stands for Mission First Tactical, their E2ARMD Muzzle Device. So I'm going to give you all the specifics in just a second, but this is, I've seen this quite a few times, and I was in need of a new muzzle device besides the A2 that comes standard on most ARs. I wanted to put something different on my Coyote gun, and so I saw this for a great deal. It was like $29.95, like $32 with tax. And I decided, you know, I would do a little review on this. I did a little background checking on what others have said about this muzzle device, and honestly, I could not find anything as far as like a video review. So this is the first that I know of regarding this MFT, Mission First Tactical E2ARMD muzzle device. And so let's get down to the specifics. We're going to go to the desktop, and I'm going to give you all the details on this muzzle device. Muzzle brake. What are they? They just say muzzle device. Yeah, well, it says flash or muzzle. It helps with flash or muzzle. So we'll see. And then at some point here very soon, probably next week, I'm going to take this out with the goal and the intent of entering into the Cabin Fever Challenge for 2021. And what that is it is a competition, a 100-yard shooting competition using various positions for shooting: prone, standing, kneeling, sitting, and stuff like that. So I'm going to see how this does, and I'll be using my 22 Nosler to do that. So let's get down to the desktop. All right, guys, first the dimensions on this, and I will mention that with this muzzle brake, you also get the crush washer, and which is pretty sweet because many of the higher-end muzzle brakes that I've ordered, my favorite being the Strike Industries King Comp. I've got 2 of those, I believe, which is my absolute favorite compensator, does not come with a crush washer. Yet you have this $30 comp that does come with the crush washer. So that is pretty sweet. This is meant for 223-556, so it is threaded specific to that barrel. And just some dimensions that I want to mention. This is 2 inches long, and the width on this is 0.625 inches. And so that's what you're looking at. So if you are in the market for a compensator, you have the dimensions for this specific comp. A couple other things with this. It is obviously you can see that it's a 3-prong ported compensator. There are 4 ports on top, right up here, that are meant to keep the muzzle brake from rising, so they keep the muzzle down. There are also 2 ported slots on each side, which really helps with gas dispersion and recoil mitigation. The 3-prong design aids in directing gases, all the concussion forward of the muzzle brake itself. It is made from 416 stainless steel. It is black nitride finished. You know, I was looking at this very closely, and it is a really nice nitride finish to it. It's very classy looking. MFT, if you've known, are well known for their stocks, their adjustable stock. So they have gotten into the market with now developing a number of different muzzle brakes. I think this actually came out in 2018 or 2019. I always had an interest in it, always thought it was a really good looking muzzle brake, but have not seen a lot of information on it. Crush washer, again, it's 17PH4 stainless steel. It's pre-hardened, so you know it's a very hard crush washer. We'll be using that for the install portion of this for sure. I'm excited to try this thing out, but I'm also excited to see what this thing looks like. I have had the same A2 compensator flash hider, whatever, on my gun, on this 22 Nozzler, ever since I had it. And so I'm really looking forward to see how this thing functions. And we'll do a function test out at the range when I get out there for this competition. So anyway, let's go to the install. All right, guys, just a few things. First, you're getting a top-down view of what's going to be going on here. A couple of tools that you're going to need. You're going to need a vice block or something similar that's going to hold your upper receiver steady so that you can crank off your old muzzle brake and put on your new one. This one just simply wraps around the upper receiver, and I can put it in my vise, which is located right here, and then we can take that muzzle device off. Excuse me. You can use an armorer's wrench. I did try to fit this to my armorer's wrench, and this one is meant for much larger muzzle brakes. You can see that there's a little bit of, let me see if I can pull that up a little further. There's a little bit of a wiggle into this one. This is a larger size. So obviously that's not going to work. So if you have a some sort of lock-in wrench, that'll work just fine to do that as well. The other thing is that this had my 4 to 12 by 40 scope on it. And so let me see if I can show you. I actually indexed my scope. Let me see if I can show that to you. Right there, maybe. The light's not good enough. But basically what I did is I took a pencil and marked which slots my scope was fitting into. That way when I reinstall my scope, it is properly indexed, and then when I go out again, I just will make sure that it is maintaining the 0 as previous. So that's what I did there. Another thing I did is I indexed the center of my barrel with a pencil mark and indexed my muzzle device as well, so that when I screw that on, those two lines meet up. I should have perfect square, perfect center for my muzzle brake. So let's get started. We're going to get this in the block vice block and get things rolling here. I did quickly want to show you how these vice blocks work, and you can tell if you're fitting it correctly is there's a little tab that fits your takedown, front takedown, and then same on this side. If you just sandwich those together like that, now you can simply throw that into the vise, square it up nicely, see if I have enough room there, and that's when I'll start tightening down. Make sure it's nice and tight. You don't need to break your block, but just make sure it's snug. All right, the other thing I forgot to show you is lithium grease. This armorer's wrench does fit on your standard A2. My other one was pretty, it didn't work so well. Let me get my arm out of the way here. All right, I gotta flip that over. There we go. All right, so you're putting it on your muzzle brake, and you're simply just, and it shouldn't take too much pressure. And we're gonna take that off from there. This actually has a washer that is intended so you don't have to use a crush washer. So I might just loosen this thing up. I'm not sure if this is the right size or not. It is. And we'll index it based upon, so this is a non-crush washer, and you actually tighten this up with your muzzle device. And so, you know, I think just because I'm so used to using that, we will put a little lithium grease on here. We're going to see where that lines up, because it may be different from the A2. And like I said, I've got the index mark up here. I'm going to take a little lithium grease and I'm going to spread it around, and that's going to prevent any corrosion from freezing my muzzle brake on. And I've got my index mark there, and I'm going to simply screw the muzzle brake on. For sure, I'm going to have to get a different, ooh, that's looking really nice so far. I'm going to have to use a different wrench to get that sucker put on there. And let's see how it's looking. Yeah, not too far to go. I might have to loosen that lock nut up so I can actually get it seated correctly. So let's go get the proper wrench and we'll go from there. All right, again, so in this step, I didn't have to use the crush washer. There is an indexing nut in here that I can adjust to be able to put on the muzzle brake, any muzzle brake. It doesn't matter if it's the A2 or if it's the Mission First Tactical, whatever it is. Basically what I'm doing is I'm tightening the that locking nut to the barrel end, and now I'm taking my lockable wrench, lockjaw wrench, and what I'm going to do is tighten this up so that I can index it to my line. And I would say that that's it right there. So that sucker's going nowhere. Again, lithium grease. If you need the crush washer, use that, but I can use that for a different install simply because I do now have this locking locking nut on here. So that is looking really good. Let me just see if it lines up with the index of my handguard, and I think it looks good. So let's get a quick up close and personal view of what this is looking like so far. All right, so that's what it's looking like. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. It's well indexed with my mark on the barrel as well as my handguard. And we're going to get this thing put together so you have a better idea of what that might look like. So yeah, my bench is a little cleaner than the last time I did a video, so a little bit more a little further to go before I get that nice and clean. So there it is, and let's go put it together.